Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer, and we're doing some Gundam Gunpla building today. Gundam Gunpla building. I'm gonna say it again because I kind of choked on that one. Hello, Harold. You threw some a bomb in there and some Bear Cave emotes there in the chat. If you're watching live of this on Twitch, you can throw Waffles just did as well. You can throw the old Bear Cave emote in there. Uh, Ryan Knuckles just subscribed using Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, Ryan Knuckles. We're going to wait a moment or two, see if a few more people jump in here. Mr. Bob's here. Oh, we got a great crew already. This is awesome. Harold is hosting. Got Harold and Waffles and Mr. Bob in the chat already. Ryan Knuckles just use Twitch Prime. Yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, you should link it with your Twitch Prime account and use your free token that you get once a month to subscribe to this channel. Also, in general, you should have Twitch Prime if you have Amazon Prime because Amazon is increasing the price of Amazon Prime, so you might as well get more for your buck. And the idea that you can watch streams and not see ads is totally worth it because, there are partners out there that show ads and you don't have to see them. And they still get the credit for it, unlike if you used something else, something to block those ads. An ad blocker, if you will. But I'm an affiliate. I'm not a partner. I don't have to worry about that stuff. But yeah, subscribing is always cool. We'll wait a minute or two, see if anybody else is going to join us before we get into building. You won't see the stuff over here as much once I'm smaller and you see the main stuff. This is a somewhat of a dead spot to light. I'm having a lot of trouble lighting that area behind me in my current setup. So I apologize for that when you start seeing that kind of nonsense in the background. We're pretty well lit. I could go with brighter lights hitting me, but that would wash out the off-white table that I currently build on. I think this is the best it's going to be for a bit until I figure out another overhead lighting solution. But yeah. Board Meg just subscribed with the comment of cheers. That's 4 months in a row from Board. Board, thank you so much for 4 months in a row of subscribing. I really appreciate it. It's a tier 1 subscription. Thank you for that. Yeah, subscriptions keep things going. Because, and people know, next Thursday will be the last stream of the month, and I will be giving away a model kit. So someone's going to win a model kit who is a subscriber. I always do a subscriber giveaway. I'm bored. I'm glad you're here tonight. We got plenty of viewers already. So let's get into it. It's time to build. Let's go to the overhead shot. Got our overhead shot from our steady-ish cam. That's what I like to say. So we finished up our double X last week, or 2 days ago on Thursday. And then I was having problems making this fit. I figured out what it was. There was a piece I didn't clip properly. I went back, fixed that, put this together, put on a few more pieces as a warm-up, as you know. Harold just gave me a lovely gift of 14 bits. Thank you very much for that, Harold. So yeah, I've been playing around with doing warm-ups before the stream starts. I do vocal warm-ups because I'm a professional voice person. And then I also kind of warm up my fingers by building a little bit so that the first clip I make isn't while on stream. Anyway, so as you know, this is the heavy arms. And the chest area here pops open to reveal all these missile launchers. So we're gonna build the chest plate now. It basically we'll build one half, we'll build the other half, we'll put it together. So we need a 9 and a 13. So we'll find those there. Pro strategies, indeed. Waffles. I noticed the first, this may be the first month of streaming. I noticed that my first couple cuts would be a little bit off. My first snaps would be a little bit out of sort because I wasn't used to what I was doing. I hadn't done it in a bit, especially on a Thursday where I haven't done any building since the previous Saturday. That can be a little rough. I'll mention it again later in the stream, but I hope you can join me. If you can't, it's okay. But if you can join me on Monday for my Memorial Day bonus stream, that's this coming Monday. I will be streaming from 3:30 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. and then I got to go to work after that. So I'm doing an afternoon stream. It's the bonus stream where I play games. I've got 3 different games to check out. 4 if you count the Jackbox games, but those are usual. To mix things up this month, I am going to play a few visual novels. They're all from Itch.io, and I'm excited to try them out. Have not. I've only turned them on to make sure that they work and to get them working within OBS. But beyond that, I have no prior experience with these games, so we check it out fresh. I'll be doing all the voices for all the characters, and we'll see what happens. They should be stream friendly as far as language. I know that there is one where there is a character that is a humanoid-like character that is somewhat naked but is not explicitly naked. So I'll probably wait on that one and do that one later, just and give people a heads up that I'm like, hey, this character is nude, but is it a human-like character, not an actual human? So, as far as I know, I don't know. All is to say, I'm excited about Monday. So if you're around on Monday, that would be cool. Be fun to have you. Come and see the streams. All right, so right now we are working on our chess pieces here, and I'm going to do my best to get this where it needs to be properly. Okay. And as always the case, we mess up so that we can fix it on the other half. The first half takes a little longer to figure out what I'm doing, which makes the second half take far less time. Always the case with these builds. Nope, that doesn't seem to fit right. Okay. So as always, yeah, this piece will take a moment or two, and the other one will take far less time because I will have figured out what I'm supposed to be doing here and why this is not going in properly. Might just be I didn't clip this right. I think it might be a clipping issue. Yes. I hope you're all doing well tonight. The parts on the Pacific Rim high grade are too small. Oh, Mr. Bob, that's so annoying. Hey, Davis, thank you very much for jumping in. We got a great crew already tonight. Very excited about that. Yeah, every once in a while, a high grade will hit you with pieces that you're like, no, this is wrong. So I didn't completely clip this properly. That's why that piece was being annoying, and it'll be a lot easier this time around. As always, once you do it the second time, you figure it out. Of course, with it being the heavy arms, at a certain point we have to. The arms take a pretty different direction, so that we'll have to compensate for that once we get there, with the knowledge that that's not going to look right on left. It's not going to be completely symmetrical. All right, so we did that piece there. Now we can put our weapons on there here. So this chest piece will pop open on both sides, revealing a plethora of missile launchers, because that's the Heavy Arms' deal, is the Heavy Arms reveals missiles and shoots those missiles. That's what it does. I'm going to be sweating a bit tonight because it is very warm here in my bedroom, and I have a fan going, but I can't have it too loud because it will get on camera, or the audio will get on camera. And you can probably hear a little bit when I stop talking. You can probably hear a little bit of it. I tried to get this room as cold as possible right before I started streaming to mitigate the need to keep it going, but I do need to have the fan go at some point, or it would be unbearable for me to continue to stream in here. Don't have central air or air conditioning in here. Can never have enough missiles. That's a very accurate board. Can never have enough missiles. And never enough fans, Davis. You're right. Got plenty of fans going on my case, but my case runs very silent. The case that I bought for my computer, that y'all bought, many people bought for me. But yeah, I was able to get a pretty quiet case, so which is great for this. Because actually, right underneath where the camera is, this camera right here, is the computer underneath the table that I'm building on. So that way the cords reach and everything works fine, and I don't have to worry about anything as far as cords go, which is pretty handy. All right, so we're just assembling our chest plates here. We gotta put on A27 and A27. Put that on there. Hey-oh. Unbearable. Oh, Harold. I mean, I set myself up for that one. I understand. Yeah, this was a relaxing Saturday. I had to work last night. I don't normally work on Fridays, but I ended up having to cover a shift due to injury of one of my employees, who is fine now, which is great. But as the boss man, it is part of the job is to be available and to fill in when necessary. The employee who was injured his back and was actually supposed to be covering someone else's shift. So I was the person who could cover. I covered the coverer. And it's fine because, I was able to do it and it wasn't a big deal, and saw some people I haven't seen in a while, and that was kind of nice, but it made today much more precious. The fact that I was able to have that time off was very nice. Petition to start referring to Pat as the big boss man. Oh, well, I'm not from Cobb County, Georgia. Is that where? I think that's where he said he was from. But, there could be worse. That could be far worse than to be called the big boss man. Far worse wrestlers to be referred to as than the old big boss man. All right, so interesting. So there are pieces that go inside this, but they didn't have me put those on, which is interesting. That I did not put on the missile launcher's middle. But you can see here's his chest. Put it right there. And they open up. And then stuff would shoot at. Missiles would come out. But they didn't have me put on the missile parts there yet. Which is interesting. But yeah. The blue is a fun accent color. It's as far as I think, yeah, it's the only blue in this kit. And so that's kind of nice to have. But we're going to move on to the head. We finished the chest. And we're going to move on to the head, so let's get going. One quick second. Apologize. Go look at this. Okay, that's good. I'm really happy about this running the beta on the very tight turnaround here. There's not much delay. The lag is very low in this low lag version, and I'm very pleased with it so far. I hope you all have been enjoying the low latency streaming. I think I lose a little bit of quality. So if I was running big games, I probably wouldn't. If I was running stuff 60 frames a second or something like that, I probably would not do it. But since right now we're not doing that, yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad the stream looks good. That's good to hear. But yeah, I think it's a great addition to it. All right, so we'll put that on there, and we will. That's that. C goes in there, and then B10. B10 is. So we're working on the head, which isn't that many components. It's pretty straightforward. Shouldn't take too long to do. So I talked a little bit on Thursday, but I'll dive a little deeper into the only clear piece here. So it's on its separate little thing, which is for the face. Um, so I finished all of Sword Art Online. The only thing I have not seen is there is a Sword Art Online movie that came out, um, and I have not seen that. I have to get that. I don't have access to that right now, so I'd like to see that. Um, and that's it. Once I see that, I'll have seen everything um, that the show has to offer. I think the second half of season 2, or the last third of season 2, the last chunk of season 2, I guess, is really interesting. Um, I like that it follows a character that we kind of lost track of, and I think overall it's good. I think that there's a way that someone, maybe not me, maybe somebody else in this world, should write a guide to it, which tells you what happens in the episodes you should skip. Oh no. I've been also one fun. Hello. So the movie that you see on Crunchyroll, I'm not talking about that. That is a movie with a little bit of extra stuff at the very end, and it's mostly a recap of the show. No, there was a actual in theaters movie, not a home OVA movie, where they face some sort of AR nightmare, like it enters the real world, and there's some AR stuff. Uh, that attempts it to later to connect to the series and the first season of the show. That came out. I forget the name of it. It's got a tag, but it's not what you're thinking of. That's not worth watching. You're right. That part is not worth watching because it's just kind of unnecessary. But the thing I'm talking about is is a full-fledged movie that is not just like a recap of the show. Um, which I had not seen. But yeah, I feel like there's probably a version out there that you could watch the first half of the first season and then read about the end of the second season and then read about the first half of the second season and you'd be fine. Because I really think that the Gun Gale Online segment, which now there's a new Sword Art Online that is like a side story that's just like a character in the Gun Gale Online universe, but that was the least interesting thing in the whole show to me because it was just a shooter. It was like there was no interesting parts of that world. It held no interest to me. I was not interested in that part of the season, which is a shame because I did enjoy other parts of that show. There are parts of the Gun Gale that's okay. We've talked about it. Kitaro starting to deal with the trauma that he of the first half of the first season. I thought was interesting. The new side story is way better than the original show. No frigid women. Okay, well, you know what? That's good to hear. So I kind of like Kitaro. I mean, look, did I need him showing up at the end of the second half of season 2? Did I really need him showing up to save the day? No, I didn't need that shit at all. I'm glad to hear there's no fridging. I think that's great, but I don't mind Kitaro as a main character. I can understand why some people would not enjoy that character, but I like him. Um, I'll have to give the Gun Gale thing a chance. I'm not super interested in competitive shooters, even a VR version of it within a game context. Just not necessarily appealing to me, but I could give it a shot, give it a try. And we're putting our wings on here. Let's see. This last episode of Comic Girls, which is the only thing that I'm keeping up with, it was another Chaos Chan focused episode. There was the second part of the episode did focus on the teacher and the editor for Chaos Chan, Chaos's editor, the teacher, their freshman school teacher, and the matron of the house, the dormitory they live in, all were in a manga group together, and that's really fun. We knew they knew each other, but we didn't know how and why they were friends, and the show kind of let us know, and that I thought that was very cool. Um, and there's a cameo by the weird girl that showed up, and I think that's really fun. She has a little bit of business that I thought was great. All right, so we got to put this headpiece on here. I don't know why it doesn't want to go on. I'm liking it enough to keep watching it weekly. The last episode seemed to be hit a hint a character from Sword Art Online. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I think I watched like the first part of the episode and was like, but I hadn't watched Sword Art Online, so now maybe I'll check it out. Let's see. And then I've just been watching some old stuff here and there, random episodes of things that I like. I hear that we're in a cliffhanger episode for the old My Hero Academia is in a cliffhanger. I'm not watching that yet. I'm waiting for a bunch of episodes to be in there so that I can speed watch it and binge it. Not speed, but binge. Alright, so for some reason, this head piece is not going in. I'm going to put that on first and see if that's the reason. We do sometimes have problems with these crowns and fitting in. Sometimes that does happen. So I'm not sure if that's what we're running to here. But that does happen on occasion. Oh. I realized I did not put a piece in. That would explain it. I forgot a piece of the forehead, which the crown clips into. Duh. That's on me, y'all. That is 100% me missing a step. And that would explain why I was having problems. All right, let's put this. So there you go. Hinamasuri is so good and it came out of nowhere from me. I have not watched that. I know some people seem real into it, but I have not checked it out. I will have to check out that show. In fact, I'm going to cut and paste the name of it and put it in my notes for today so that I will check it out. I've been trying to check out some old stuff here and there, things that I have not seen, but nothing that I really want to talk about right now. There's also some new show, like episode 1 just came out, and it's a magical girl show, but I read the description, and it just... There's something about going to a parallel world and people just wearing diapers, and I was like, nope. So I'm going to have to wait for someone I really trust to really recommend that show. I'm going to go look up I'm going to read it. You know what? I'm going to go to Crunchyroll. I'm going to read the description of To Be Heroine is the name of the show. I don't know anything about it, but here we go. Here is the description for To Be Heroine, a show that I have not seen, but the description made me go, no thanks. Everyone around Futaba expects her to grow up and become an adult, and she's lost the ability to keep herself mentally balanced. At the bottom of her heart, her childish self is still there, and still strong. One day, she wanders into another dimension, a world where the light has been lost, and darkness rules. The people exist as babies wearing only their underpants. The clothes they wear can be summoned as powerful fighters called spy cloths. In this world, a battle was being fought between light and darkness. You might understand why I saw that, read that, and went, no. No thanks. Don't. I don't need babies' clothing becoming powerful relics called spy cloths. Uh, uh, like to be heroine, there's some idea of like, oh, like a coming of age, like finding your power show. That sounds kind of cool. But nope, that's not what that show is. I don't think. I don't quite know what that show is, but I don't think I want to watch it. Like I said, I'm waiting to find out. I'm waiting. I'm honestly just waiting for Victoria, uh, Sailor B, to just be like, this show rules, and then I'll give it a shot. But as far as I know, she has not claimed that show rules. Certainly not the end all be all as far as opinions on anime go, but she has not steered me wrong in the past. Okay, so I'm having trouble getting this plate on. I don't know why. At first it was that I didn't put it on, which is why the crown didn't want to go on. But now I'm dealing with the fact that I can't put it on at all, and I don't know why. Let's see here. Put that on. Okay, so. Not sure what is going on here. I'm going to look at the kit. Okay. Yeah, it's just part of the helmet. I don't know why I'm having problems with it. Anime News Network does a really good job of reviewing new shows. Have you seen and come trust them? Huh. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I have checked them out in the past, not often. So I might take a quick look to see what they have to say. But you know, like it was a new show coming out, and since I'm only watching, oh, there we go, got it on. Since I'm only watching one show currently, because I'm waiting for have a lot of My Hero Academia so that I can binge it, because that's how I like to watch that show, and I'm kind of waiting for a lot of episodes because I think the first part of season 3, the third plate for Food Wars, was not great. Although things are kicking off, and I know that there's some cool stuff happening. All right, so we finished the head. We got it done. We're gonna put that aside. I eventually will watch all that, but I'm like, the first part of the last season, the first part of the first part of the last season, didn't really thrill me. So I'm cautiously optimistic. Okay, so the thing with the arms is most of the arms are identical on both sides, and then things change. So we can start by doing 2 times of each of these. So we will do, we'll basically do on one sheet, and then we'll do its partner on the other, and back and forth. For a while anyway, because most of these arms are going to be completely symmetrical until we get to the bottom of it. So we can do that, which is very handy and helpful. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else I want to say about anime at the moment. Like I said, Comic Girls is still fine. It is a thing for me to watch, but it is not like I'm not thrilled by it. I think that, you know, it's certainly less horny than Slow Start, one of the shows I watched last season. So it is doing a better job than that. But yeah, it's just okay. Honestly, it's just an okay show. All right, so we do that on one side, and we're going to do that on the other, and then we'll assemble that. I just want to clip out the parts I need, and then I'll worry about assembling. If you're watching anything, I will check out this show that a couple of you have been talking about, because I am looking for stuff to watch, you know, make use of my subscription. I ended up watching a couple random, like completely random episodes of Absolute Duo, which is one of those like shows that no one talks about because it like kind of came and people liked it, but they didn't love it, so it kind of came and went. but I remember liking the fighting in it. I thought the fighting was cool, so I went and checked that out again. Just kind of watched a little bit of random episodes. Every once in a while, I like to watch those random episodes of stuff that I remember liking. Okay. Um, I watched the first episode of Agents of Shield. The show is very different now than it when it started. Yeah, sometimes it's fun to watch the pilots of things to see where they've come, especially live action TV shows. Um, and I know that apparently, as it goes on, it gets less like butts, and gets more like into the story and the plot. But a couple of people whose opinion I very much trust, who were kind of like not hate watching, but not like super into Darling in the Franxx, are like, hey, it got way better. So I've heard that. I believe it because, as I said, people whose opinion I do trust, who were kind of like sticking it out, are now telling me that's a show that I should watch. So at some point, I have no plans to exactly do it, but apparently there are choices that were made in it that were very interesting, and so I am interested in that and seeing where it went. Uh, we'll see. I don't know. I can't tell you that like, hey, for Monday we'll talk about it. Like I don't think so, but it is a thing that I've been looking into because, like I said, I've been told to check it out, so I will at some point, I guess. Maybe I'll wait for it to be over before I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, every once in a while, there's just nothing on, and I'm just like clicking on stuff YouTube, and I get on those like 10 series to watch, 10 shows where the main character is OP and all that kind of like thing. And they do a lot of repeats, and it's a lot of stuff that I've seen before, so I kind of don't give it too much close attention. But like King's Avatar showed up on one of those lists, which is why I watched it. Which I don't know if I would have seen otherwise, because I did have to go and get the subtitles for it because it's not licensed in the U.S. because it's not a Japanese show; it's a Chinese show. So I had to like kind of go and find that, and I'm glad I did because I did enjoy it when I finally got to see it. All right, so we're working on some parts of our arms here, taking our time with it, making sure we do it right, because we want to make sure they're going to bend properly. So, I think we did it right, but sometimes you never know until you do it. I'm actually going to take this apart because I think I did this wrong. So I'm going to wedge this apart and try it again. Fractoscopic way redder, but it could also still go way bad. There's real knife edge in terms of you can gender stuff well. Yeah, I agree with that. What's your relaxation watch? Lately, I've been in a weird headspace and haven't been able to let energy go somewhere new, so I've been falling back on old favorites like John Bomb. Yeah. So, I would say that Jeff's Garfield thing is not relaxing because he's just furious, and while that is funny, that's not really relaxing. I would say the summer stuff, the edutainment games that they've been playing, has been really fun. The last Rank King of Fighters was very enjoyable. Because they get, every once in a while they just play games I've never heard of and have no experience with, and that's kind of fun, I think. I think that's very fun. So as far as Giant Bomb content goes, that's been pretty cool. You know what? My relaxation right now is I've been watching random episodes of. There are two guys. They're white straight dudes that make video stuff, but Jay's 2 cents is JAYZ 2 cents. I've been watching a lot of his videos because he does a lot of like really stupid water cooling things that I would never do and have no interest in doing. But then like halfway through the episode, it like music plays and they do the sped up version of him making it happen. And I find those genuinely very relaxing. There's a comfort to that complete nonsense that I have no interest in actually doing myself. because I have no interest in water cooling. So yeah, those are I've been watching a lot of those videos. Uh, yeah, I got them a few times for that. There's another guy who's got a good relaxing voice. I'm gonna look him up. Hold on. Um, yeah, so watching a lot of that dude of Jay's 2 cents, and there's another person. I'm gonna look it up. Uh, what's that channel called? This is bad radio. Uh, nope, 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 nope. Paul's Hardware. Paul's Hardware. I apologize. That took too so long for me to remember. Paul's Hardware is pretty relaxing. He does a lot of like video stuff, and I actually checked him out because he had done a video review of the motherboard in my computer. So I watched that, and now I'm getting like before I started subscribing to him, I was getting a lot of like, hey, if you like this, you should watch this kind of thing, where people were getting recommended. Um, so I gave that a shot. All right, so we're putting these pieces aside. We'll come back to them later. We're working on the shoulders. Of course, these shoulders for each arm are going to have missiles coming out of them, so we got to build the holders for that. We are going to need E, so we'll put those aside there, and we're going to need F, different shades of gray here. But yeah, I overall those two gentlemen, I watch a lot of their videos and they're pretty fun. Huh. Yeah, it's just kind of good to check those things out. Bitwit is another channel in the Pod Wars, J2 Cents. Work together a lot, similar style. Yeah, like, you know, they're generally talking about things that I have no real interest in. I know Jay's 2 cents was doing a weird little mini series of like that were almost MythBusters in their dumb nature. They're not necessarily the science, but like the exaggerated uh, like using a leaf blower to cool a CPU, which was very stupid, and they knew was stupid, and I can appreciate that. Paul's Hardware, he's got the Tesla. He's been getting the Tesla. Uh, um, uh, what do I want to call it? Not the car Tesla, but the solar panels. I don't know why I couldn't think of solar panels. But yeah, he's gotten these solar panel stuff. He's working on that, and that's been really interesting to kind of watch those videos. And those are low, they're kind of nonsense, have on the background. I kind of stopped thinking about them for a bit, and then realized I watching another one. They don't require a lot of headspace, which can be nice. All right, so working on the right arm and the missile launcher here, we've got basically a lot of pegs to put some missiles in. So we're gonna have to take our missiles out of here. As you can see, there's lots of missiles. Lots of missiles to pull out. So we're gonna find those and make sure that we do it right. Mario Party Party. Yeah, Mario Party Party can be a fun one. I was very happy that I got to see it live at PAX, in that one live episode, and watch Brad's moment in the sun. Such a great moment. Yeah, but that can be a fun series to kind of just have on as you're doing stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I know some people are like, oh, I don't watch subtitles because I don't want to read. I don't want to focus. And for me, having something to focus on can be helpful because I do like to have things that are relaxing, but I also like to be able to engage with things and be interested in them. And it does hold my attention because it forces you to hold your attention. Okay. So that's got to go in here. All right, these kind of just slot in pretty easily, which is helpful. And then just got to make sure you're doing the edges right here. Watch old loading ready run videos to relax. That's fun, Harold. Yeah, that's a good idea. Uh, yes, their wrestling podcast is pretty fun. The wrestling series. Um, I do recommend that. Yeah, loading ready run is fun to kind of have in the background. Um, There is a gentleman on the internet named Oxhorn. I know nothing about him on YouTube except that he almost exclusively makes videos about the Fallout series of games and does deep dives. Um, it's kind of entertaining-ish, I would say. He's got a good voice for it. I don't know if his content is super engaging. Uh, so I am every once in a while have one of his videos on in the background uh, as he kind of like walks through some Fallout lore, and kind of connects the dots. And occasionally he'll trace back like the followers of the apocalypse from Fallout New Vegas, but he'll trace it back to Fallout, the original Fallout, and what they were like then. And it's kind of he almost goes for a historical aspect, which is kind of interesting. Yes. Yeah, Oxhorn is also interesting because he like leaves no stone unturned. So he'll go and give you options of like because I don't play mean characters in Fallout. I occasionally, say something like "I'm going to kill you" when I'm dealing with an obviously evil character. But I don't really truck in the evil lose karma method. It's not my style. So it's kind of interesting to watch those videos to see what those like evil options are. Like I've never put points in terrifying presence, but it's kind of interesting to see what the a character says that is like that. All right, so okay, with that, this goes here, and then I need F8. He's also Oxhorn is very thorough, so that is um, pretty cool. I guess that's the last thing I'll say about Oxhorn. Um, but yeah, I do pop into old favorites now and again. One of the things that's been fun is weekly. There's been a Let's Play of different Jackbox games that Polygon does. And it's a lot of my favorite people from Polygon doing it. And they also usually have like a guest from some other Polygon or some other like Verge channel who I don't know, but they seem to like. So that's been kind of fun to kind of keep up with that. And I usually just kind of throw those on now and again. They just put one out today. So that's been a fun series. I'm watching that a lot, and that's very relaxing. It's been kind of cool to keep up with that. And those are fun and replayable. All right, so we got our missiles here for our shoulder piece. We're almost done here. We've got a couple more pieces to put together here. We need 8-3. And E12. I mean, there's so many missile things on here. We're nowhere near done. We're done with this, almost done with this one part of it, but we have so much more to build as far as how that goes. I'll watch wrestling to decompress sometimes too. 6 years ago, so WCW, so just watch, yeah. Yeah, Davis, that's an easy thing to just kind of tune in and out of is old wrestling pay-per-views because they're so not timely that, it doesn't really matter if you're not super paying attention to that. That can be kind of fun. Yeah, I used to put on old wrestling pay-per-views just on the background, and I'll do that now and again just as a something to kind of relax and just have on as you decompress. As many of you know, I work evenings, so one of the things I do to decompress when I get home is I'll just put on random stuff to just kind of have on. That's very helpful to kind of shake off the day before going to sleep because it's very hard to get home from work and immediately go to bed. I almost never am able to do that. I almost always have to have some time to relax and collect myself and decompress from the day. All right. So then this goes here. All right. That goes F33. My favorite thing that has run the debut of one of Chris Jericho against Alex Wright. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jericho. I mean, Jericho was known in Mexico and the Indies, and then made a bit of a name for himself in ECW before being snatched up in the larger cruiserweight thing. And people really thought that he was going to immediately jump up in the card, and then he just became, for a very long time, just another cruiserweight, babyface. Just yeah, there wasn't a lot to his character. He really didn't have a character because they it didn't translate. His character from Mexico did not translate. His original character of the Lionheart, because he was just a sexy American dude, even though obviously he's Canadian, not American. But in Mexico, he was just like a sexy, gringo character. He was like a heartthrob. So it did not translate to television, that character. It would not translate necessarily. Was not going to work out for him. All right, and got to put some more pieces on here. 2. Yeah, it is fun to watch people's debut of their characters in wrestling to see how they evolve and where they end up, because that stuff is, to me, incredibly fascinating. As people think they've got, sometimes characters are well defined from years and years on the road that you never saw, so when it gets to television, it's ready to go. And other times, it's just, well, I have to do this bad idea for a while until they let me try something else. I've got to do my best with a failing bad gimmick until they will let me try the thing that I think is going to work. Which can be a shame. Jericho ripping Doom Uncle. Oh, yes. I mean, the rest before and then. Yep. New Day is Mr. Bob. New Day is a special thing. They took a very pretty bare bones, nothing gimmick. They not only did they make it their own, but they succeeded with a gimmick that did not work well, and then they morphed it into something that does work incredibly well for them. I would say they added another 10 years of career to Kofi Kingston, who was probably, gonna move to the office or something, but right now has revitalized his career and lets him really get to do some unique, interesting things for a while, which is awesome because Kofi Kingston is an incredible talent. Saved Xavier Woods from just being a dancer, because Xavier Woods' gimmick coming in was he was just friends with Brodus Clay, and then he stole Brodus Clay's music. He was friends with R-Truth and stole Brodus Clay's music. That was his gimmick, was that he was just a happy dancing black man. It's very bad. So giving him something to do, giving Big E something to do, giving Kofi another shot at relevance, it's been a real pleasure to watch that all of those characters thrive. Seemingly on their own, with no real help. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out what I gotta do to get this going here. Just putting together missiles, as is our wont. Figured it out. Yep, got that going. And then we'll put this on here. And then that goes like this. Oops. Oh no. Came out. I read that this part is a little troublesome. That these, this thing does come apart. So I'll have to be careful with it. You know, I think the positivity stuff works really well for them. I think just they're hitting on something that people didn't know they wanted. When they do have a hard edge, it is received positively. When they goof around, it's fun. They are allowed to openly cheat and get away with it, which is such a rare thing in wrestling. That people are like, yeah, all right. Oh, you're a cheater? Okay. But we like you, so it's okay. That is a very rare thing in wrestling. Eddie Guerrero is the king of lie, cheat, steal. Eddie Guerrero broke every rule, but he did it so well that people couldn't help but love him. And there's a little bit of that in New Day. And they really did. They had to be better tag teams to face them. They're so good. They're so good at what they do and so fun to watch and resonate with that other teams need to be made or step their game up in order to compete. Okay, so this is going to be a shoulder here, right? So what happens here when it's time to shoot missiles? Pops open. Oh, missiles and missiles. And then this pops over here. Even more missiles. And then it's go time. And that's just a shoulder. Heavy Arms has lots of weapons on it. Very fun. All right, F-31. Okay, so I'm going to finish up a little bit of the shoulder here, and then we are going to take a break for our sponsor reads, and I'll talk about that, and then we'll get into working on more of this arm, so we can finish an arm today. But yeah, I'm just going to really quickly find this piece that I'm looking for here. Put two more pieces on, and then we will take a break, and I will link to all the stuff going on with me. Ways that you can support the channel. I'll say this, first and foremost, if you are not a subscriber, consider subscribing. If you can't, just financially, or you want to support me in a different way, give me a follow. If you're watching this live or you're watching on YouTube, go to twitch.tv/PatBaer. Give me a follow on that. It would really help me. And then put the notifications so that you know when I'm streaming. Turn that so that you can get the messages when I go live. You can get an email or something so that way you know, hey, it's time to watch the build with Baer Workshop. All right, so that finishes off that. Put that aside. So that's the first and foremost thing, subscribe and all that. The other way you can support me is through my Patreon. For as little as $1, you can support me on Patreon. $1 gets you a monthly Q&A video that I make just for Patreon that I don't release to anywhere else. It's a monthly thing. Here's my Patreon links. It'll also be in the show description of the YouTube video that comes out later. You could buy something on my Amazon wish list. So someone anonymously bought this Heavy Arms. This Heavy Arms was an anonymous purchase, and you could buy something on there. I try to update it constantly with things that I would love. I'm going to look to put some stuff in there that I haven't in the past. Maybe some different Lego stuff that's not Star Wars. Maybe some Bionicles. I'm looking into that. If there's anything to catch my eye. You could also do a one-time donation at my coffee. All that money goes into me buying more kits, so you could do that. That is another way to support. And then word of mouth is huge. Please tell people. We're sitting around 10 to 15 views today. I would love more people to be able to watch it live. About as many people as that watch it later on YouTube, but I would love to have more people watching this and being able to chat with all of us. That would be great. So tell people if you don't mind. Give me a retweet when you see the tweet on Twitter. If you have a Gunpla or a Lego fan or somebody that wants to occasionally talk about wrestling and definitely talk about anime, and you want to be in if you have a friend you think would love the very nice chat that y'all keep up, because this is a great conversations here in chat. Also, I have a comedy show. I rarely do comedy shows live these days in New York. I got one coming up in June, so I'll mention that here. The name of it is Queerball. It is a LGBTQ AI question mark plus show hosted by Timothy Dunn, who I've known for a dozen years, and I love that man. He's a great person in the UCB community. And then here's the show link to buying tickets. It is a $9 show, which is a little pricey, I know. And also, it is late in the evening on a on a Monday, so I know that's not super convenient. It will not be filmed. It is just a live show. I'm doing a segment in the show where I talk about some of the lesser discussed letters in LGBTQ, A, I, question mark, plus, etc., etc., etc. I'll talk about some of those because, there's a huge focus on the L and the G and some focus on the B and the T as well. But there are plenty of other things. We're going to probably focus a little bit on the A and its many subsidiaries. I'm going to take a drink of water. Water splashed on me. Don't worry, it'll dry very fast. It is hot. And then on Monday, 3:30 p.m. till 5:30 p.m., I will be here on this very stream. You can come and hang out with me as I play some games. I'll do some Jackbox games with the chat. I'm going to play some visual novels that should be fun, that I think people will check out, hopefully, and see. I think that would be good. I'm just checking my notifications here. Yeah. Kiko from Penny Arcade is doing a high grade kit tonight. His first kit. I was very excited to see that. I hope he does well. Anyway, we did that. Now let's get back to building. We're going to keep building this arm. Let's see if we can keep working on this right arm here. Put these back where they belong. That was F. What we got going on here? Nadavis just subscribed. Whoa, Nadavis! It's a tier 2 sub. Subscribed 6 months in a row. Nadavis, thank you so much for that. You and Iron Souls are my tier 2. Right now, the only thing that benefits you to tier 2 is you get to use my current icon, which is the Lego Pat head done by Alexandra, who also did the Bear Cave emote. So Nadavis, you have a special emote that only you and Iron Souls, who never watches live. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you jumping up to tier 2. That's very nice of you. It's a fun emote. Alexandra did a great job. At some point, I will do a Gundam Pat Bear head. I don't know when that's going to happen. But I've been thinking about, the old main old school kind of Gundam head, but just my head. I think that could be pretty fun. But no plans for that because, that's a ways away. Anyway, we're working on here. We're back in it. We're going to keep working on this arm. Got some pieces to put together. Just filing this down a little bit here. Okay, so that looks right. And then that looks okay. Got these rubber pieces here. And we're making sure that we are putting the rubber piece in the right spot because we don't want to mess this up. My friends and I found a website that I'll just give you random PPV on the network and you go watch it and record ourselves or watch it and put a podcast. Oh, that's really fun. Look, Adam, sometimes creative outlets that you don't think people are going to respond to are great just to do. I did stop doing the Pokemon Emerald series, my Let's Play, but I'm going to do something else. I wasn't getting a super fulfillment with it. It became kind of a chore. I really liked it at first, but I didn't feel the need to stick with it, which I'm actually, I was surprised about. I'll say that, but yeah, I decided that I'm going to find a new series to work on But yeah, it just wasn't hitting me. And so there's something you said for just doing something because it's creative and fun and you want to kind of get out there. And if you're doing it with your friends, that sounds awesome. Scheduling time with your friends, uh, I saw certain friends the most in my life when I had a D&D group because it was appointment hangout. And I think that's really, really helpful. One of the reasons why I'm glad that I have some friends at work is because it means I get to see them at work and we have some scheduled time where we know we'll see each other. Even if we're just in the same building and not even the same room, it's still really nice to have that time. So if you can, if you can get that time together, it's pretty sweet. That's got to go in there. And then this has to go here. Like that. That doesn't. No, that doesn't make sense. Alright. As always, occasionally you get one of these things where you're just like, I don't understand how this works. I have to figure this out. I'm doing that right now. And then this with the goes in. This might be the wrong piece. Is it 13? Nope, 13 and 15. I got the right piece there. Huh. Alright, I think I did this right. We'll find out. When I assemble. Yeah, this looks right. Okay. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. You never know sometimes, am I right? I am. I'm right. Okay, now we'll put C and D together. First time we're pulling anything out of D. D is our white accents here. I think we actually grabbed like one D piece out, so we'll get that. Twitch and like and enjoy it. Yeah. RPGs are an outstanding way to get your friends together in one room. Yes. Yeah, eventually we started doing stuff with Roll20 because we couldn't be in the same room together. And while that did keep us going longer than if we had all been in the room, we did eventually stop because people's lives just got in the way. Particularly our DM just got very busy with her real life and couldn't commit to the hours that we were dealing with, which I understand. Totally understood it at the time. It was a bummer. But we kept it going by using Roll20 and Discord for I would say probably 3 or 4 months more when it was like, hey, what if we just didn't leave our houses? I was the big man on campus that was like, what if we did this a different way? And it kept us going for a while. Couldn't keep us together forever, but it did add some life to it, which was cool. All right, so nope, I did this wrong. Huh. Let's go through this. All right, so we're assembling the armor here on our arm, and the arm armor, I should say. You're GMing a Dungeon World campaign with some friends, but it's tough to line up. Yeah, lining up schedules is really hard. It's to me the hardest thing. It's like you can study the rules whenever you want, but getting a bunch of people in the same room and getting them all to agree to to a schedule and to keep that schedule is so hard that if you can do it online, like like I said, I use Roll20. There's might be another system out there. Sometimes just using Skype is all you need, Um, if that's a way to keep your crew together, I do recommend it. All right, so let's see, B2 here. Yeah, whatever you need to do to keep those games going, because it's just it's fun to get your friends together for a fantasy thing. The wave of fantasy style or fantasy game podcasts like D&D and the like podcasts that have happening has been really great, I think, for convincing people that never played to give it a shot. That's been really nice. But doing some one-shots here and there, but I don't have a steady group and haven't had one in quite some time, which is a shame. I wish I did have a steady group, but it's just not in the cards for me at the moment. Alright, so let's get this on here, wherever this needs to go. What's that here? Still playing EverQuest with little friends twice a month. That's fun. That's very cool board. Yeah, every once in a while I do get the old MMO feels about, the remembrance of classic stuff that, I haven't thought about in forever. They come back to you. Alright, so put that on there and then put these joints on here. Pretty tiny. These are pretty tiny. Gotta clip it down. I'm going to use my tweezers because I have tweezers over here. So I might as well take advantage of them. Try to see if I can get these on. Using tweezers. Oh, nope. Oops. It's not actually going to work, so instead we'll use the snipper clips. Actual play podcasts are great for pointing people to, yeah, it's pretty nice to be like, oh, you can check this out if you want to learn about how it goes, or even like pointing someone at Harmon Quest, if you're okay with dealing with Dan Harmon, watching people like who really know what they're doing, and then also people who don't know what they're doing at all. That's pretty fun to kind of follow along. Or Nerd Poker, because Dan Telfer really knows what he's doing and runs a pretty tight ship, I would say, as far as keeping it fun but keeping it moving. And then as far as entertainment stuff goes, like I talk about Drawfee, which is the dorkly college humor, like all the art people from that have a YouTube channel that I know I talk a lot about on here because it's full of really creative, funny people who can also draw really well, and it's infuriating because they're so talented. But they have a thing called Draga, which involves a lot of art and also their animated, or not their animated, yeah, it involves a lot of art along with them playing a D&D campaign. It's very good. And there's a lot of it, so you could binge on that pretty easily and have and spend a lot of time on that. Alright, so put that in there. No matter what I do, this piece never wants to sit right until you put a hand in. So we got to build a hand. Can't wait to build this hand. Yeah, I really love Draga because all those people are very good and do a good job of being very entertaining. Of course, it's edited, very well and done in a cool style, so that helps a lot. But I miss having a regular group, something I would be into doing again in the future. But as of right now, I definitely don't have the time. I spend a lot of my free time on other things, and I'm pretty happy about that. Alright, so we're building a hand here. So we'll look at which hand pieces we want to use here. And make this hand the way we want to make it. Just need a... Alright, and we need... XB16. We need the thumb. Oops. Gotta get that thumb out. Gonna need that thumb. Gotta have that thumb. I didn't say this yet today, but if you're working on anything right now or in general in the future, anytime, you can always tweet me photos when you work on kits. I love seeing them. I love seeing the in progress and the final product photos. So always, please, please, please send that stuff to me so that I know what you're working on because I like knowing it. Twitter.com/PatBear is the place to send that stuff. It's very helpful for me to see what you're all working on. Sometimes it inspires me of things that I think would be cool for the channel, or it's just stuff that I haven't seen before or didn't know was out. So yeah, please send me stuff. So we could do an open palm here. We could do a closed fist here. We are going to do the open hand because we're going to do the one that you'd use if you're going to have a weapon. Because I usually like just by default to have those so that I don't have to find a different hand when it's time to put a weapon in there. And then we'll just... having trouble getting this hand in there, so we'll just real quick. There we go. Got in there. Then... cool, and there it is. So that's our arm here. You can see we've got the missiles pop open, and it's ready for missile time. And that's one of our arms. Done. Very cool. So we will keep moving. We got a little time left here on Saturday. We'll get some of the left arm done. We won't do too much of the left arm. That will pick up again next Thursday. As mentioned, next Thursday is the last stream of the month, so I will be giving away something to one of my subscribers. So it's a great time to become a subscriber. Sorry, just needed that. Yeah, so it'll be a very good time to become a subscriber if you aren't already. You can jump in on that next Thursday. We'll be giving away a kit. I can't remember which one it is. I said it out loud before, but I'm going to go and look for it. One quick second. Oh, it's the Wing Gundam, isn't it? Let me look it up. It's one of the wings we got. It's the Wing Gundam Zero Master Grade. So it is the wing. It's one of the wings, and it's the Zero. So it has all the feathers on it. It's a very cool looking kit. It's that thing where it's the second wing you see in the show, but it's the oldest Gundam in the show. It was like the original that was built. So it's confusing, but it's the one with the wings, and it's very cool. So that's coming out. That'll be the kit that someone will win. It's a very cool kit, and so I'm excited that somebody, one of y'all, is going to win it. So yeah, if you're not a subscriber yet, that's a great time to get on board because it won't be too long until I have to send that out. Alright, so we're on F. We need F11 here because we're going to start the other shoulder. Do that. Going to E3. Speaking of E3, obviously I'm not going to E3 because I'm not in the video game industry. I am excited about some stuff coming out, you know, that'll be there. I have been keeping kind of an eye on some things. I am excited to see if and when Bethesda is going to announce anything and what that might be. They're a company that I like to keep my eye on because I do like what they put out. I am cautiously optimistic about Rage 2. I didn't think Rage was great. I didn't particularly enjoy it, but I think there's something there. So the fact that they made a second one makes me think they might have some ideas. Who knows? Maybe they don't have any ideas. Maybe they're completely without plans and they're just winging it. But I think there could be something interesting there. We'll see. So that's F12. Then we need F1 and F2. And F2. Just putting some missiles here in our shoulder. Just like the last one we did. And popping them in place. Always excited for E3. You just work the best. Yeah, I'm usually around for press conferences. Wish there would be a new proper Elder Scrolls. The online is doing really good. Yeah, bored. I think you're just going to end up with another Skyrim port before you get yourself a proper Elder Scrolls. Um, I mean, we might get another Fallout. I've been wondering if we're going to get like a not like a Fallout 5, but a Fallout New Vegas style game that is built on the Fallout 4 engine that is like 3, it's like 4.5, just like Fallout was. Maybe by another company, maybe an internal one. I've been wondering if that's going to happen, if they're going to go that route. Uh, I don't know. That could be interesting. I could. I didn't love 4. I didn't particularly engage with it super hard. But I did really like the settlement building. The settlement building was very fun. So I would like to see what someone else does with that system. And the Creation Club stuff has been pretty cool, honestly. I don't keep up with it super well, but some of the Creation Club stuff has been pretty neat. The rumor that Bethesda Studios is working on a Fallout Elder Scrolls style space sci-fi game. Huh. Oh, Dr. Jones just gave me a cheer. 5 cheer. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Jones. Welcome to the leaderboard with that. And thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate it very much. It's very nice of you. Yeah. Yeah, cheer is always accepted. Space sci-fi game. I could see that. They've always had a little knack, little thoughts on space. And, you know, I think that we won't see a space game from BioWare for the next few years. So there is room for something in that genre out there. Certainly. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Let's see. Let's go. This goes like. Wait. It's very weird. I don't remember how this went on the other side, so that's fun. We'll figure that out in a second. We'll do that. We gotta do. This goes. Oh, that's right, because it goes there. I figured it out now. I was looking at the wrong piece. That'll do it, won't it? We're getting towards the end of our stream tonight because I am. Bethesda should hire the Fallout modder, like what used to happen in the. Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's some really solid Fallout. I mean, so the thing is, they're not. What they're doing now is they're not hiring the modders. They're just making them do stuff in the Creator Club and supporting the good ones. Like, I don't think it's official lore right now, but I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's going to be officially lore. But the latest in the Creator Club, they did some stuff with like Jangles the Moon Monkey, Creator Club stuff, and there's a new suit of power armor you can get from Captain, I forget his name, but it's like it fits in with the lore really well. And it made a section in Hub 360, which is like an unmarked part of the game. It added like a basement area to that, and it's a cool little piece of Creator Club stuff that I'm like very pleasantly surprised with. They like did a good job with it. All right, so this didn't sit right. I didn't put that on right, so I'm going to take this apart because I didn't put it together right, and we'll just wedge that in and separate. Not a big deal. Not super layered. Getting a little tired. That's showing in my stuff there. Yeah, I want to say that the sewer rats thing was really interesting. That is basically the Fallout 3 or the Rat Kings or what? No, I forget what it's called. The Greaser. Basically, the gang that was in the Fallout 3. There's some gear in that and some lore, and you get to learn some stuff about what happened to some of them, and it's interesting. It's pretty cool that they would do that. I was pleased with that DLC. I download stuff off the Nexus all the time. I've tipped here and there, but it's not something where I've go out of my way to tip. I could and should and will in the future be better about that, but I know that I could do a much better job of supporting creators, and the Creator Club is an easy way to do that. Instead of going to PayPal accounts, which it's fine, but I forget to do all the time. Once you have the mod and you're using the mod, it's sometimes hard to remember that someone worked on that mod, and it's not just part of the game. And there's some people, they just put stuff out for free, so you can't really. They don't have a way to pay them, so you can't even do that. You have to just give them good karma, I guess. E11 right here. All right, so I'm going to finish this part off, and then we will wrap up there because we're almost at 10:30. So I got a little bit more to do. Here in the wind down, I do want to thank you for joining me today. As always, I would not be doing these streams if I didn't have the wonderful support of folks in the chat, folks that are just watching in the background, folks that watch later on the YouTube. Tell your friends if you could think of somebody who you know for a fact would love this, and you could tell them about how this is the thing they should check out. That would be cool. Monday, 3:30 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. is the bonus game stream, where I am just playing some games. We'll do some Jackbox games. We'll do some. I'm going to play some visual novel games that I've been meaning to check out. Some people recommended some. I put a tweet out a little while ago, and I had some of my own that I was interested in seeing, and so I'm excited to check that out there. Hopefully I will find some cool stuff for that, and then we'll play some Jackbox games as well. That's on Monday, and then next Thursday is the last stream of the month, where I will give away a kit to a subscriber, and that's gonna do it. Yeah, throw their Bear Cave emotes in there. Let people know that you're a subscriber. Thank you for watching. I will hopefully see some of you on Monday. It will be archived just like everything else, so if you can't watch it live, you can always watch it later on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Have a safe Memorial Day weekend. That can always be said again. If you're drinking, please don't drink to excess. If you're doing drugs, please don't do it to excess. Be safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of your friends. If you're going to parties, wear a hat, especially if you're balding. I shaved my head, and now I got to remember to always wear a bandana when I go outside. But even if you just have a hair part, that hair part will burn if you're standing out in the sun on Monday for 5 hours over a grill. So take care of yourselves this weekend. Look out for each other. And I'll hopefully see some of you on Monday, and if not, next week. Make a steak for lunch and do it and have a great time, and I'll see you another time. Bye-bye.